The National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires that all electrical outlets in kitchens be placed on the kitchen side of the countertop. This is to prevent cords from crossing the countertop, which could create a tripping hazard or lead to accidental disconnection of appliances. If an appliance cord or plug gets caught in the countertop divider, it could pull the outlet out of the wall and create a loose electrical connection. This can lead to arcing, sparking, and potential fire hazards. Having the outlets on the opposite side of the divider makes it very inconvenient to plug in kitchen appliances, especially when they need to be moved around frequently, for example, a countertop mixer or toaster. The length of cords used with appliances may not be sufficient to reach outlets on the opposite side of the divider, which can limit the placement and use of appliances. Having outlets on the opposite side of the divider can create an unsightly appearance, especially if cords are visible. It's questionable whether a licensed electrician would have installed the outlets on the opposite side of the divider, as it violates electrical code requirements. Here are some recommendations. Firstly, contact the electrician who installed the outlets and request that they be moved to the kitchen side of the divider. Secondly, if the electrician is unwilling or unable to rectify the issue, consider filing a complaint with the local electrical inspector or licensing board. As a temporary measure, consider using a cord organizer or cord reel to keep cords tidy and prevent them from crossing the countertop divider. Let's delve into the specific requirements of the National Electrical Code, the NEC, concerning receptacle placement in kitchen countertop areas. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for safe electrical installations, and it's crucial to adhere to these regulations to prevent electrical hazards and ensure the safety of occupants. Article 210.52 C specifically addresses receptacle placement in dwelling units, and it includes detailed requirements for kitchen countertops. According to NEC 210.52 C1, receptacle outlets must be installed so that no point along the wall line is more than 24 inches, or 600 millimeters, measured horizontally from a receptacle outlet. This requirement ensures that electrical outlets are readily accessible and conveniently located along the countertop. This essentially means that you should not have more than 48 inches, or 1200 millimeters, between two receptacles. If a countertop is 12 feet long, that is 144 inches, requiring at least 4 receptacles to meet code. In island and peninsula countertops, NEC 210.52 C2 mandates at least one receptacle outlet for each island or peninsula countertop with a long dimension of 24 inches, or 600 millimeters, or greater, and a short dimension of 12 inches, or 300 millimeters, or greater. Receptacles should be located above, but not more than 20 inches, or 500 millimeters, above the countertop. These regulations are designed to ensure that electrical outlets are conveniently located and readily accessible for appliances and other electrical devices used on kitchen countertops. They also aim to minimize the use of extension cords, which can pose tripping hazards and increase the risk of electrical fires. Now let's discuss some additional safety considerations related to electrical outlets in kitchens. Firstly, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are essential safety devices that protect against electrical shock. NEC 210.8 requires GFCI protection for all 125 volt, 15 amp and 20 amp receptacles in kitchens that serve countertop surfaces. GFCIs monitor the flow of electricity and quickly trip the circuit if they detect a ground fault, which can occur when electricity leaks from an appliance or wiring and flows through a person to ground. Secondly, arc fault circuit interrupters, or ARCs, are another important safety device that protects against electrical fires. ARCs detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause insulation to break down and ignite surrounding materials. NEC 210.12 requires ARC protection for all branch circuits that supply outlets or devices installed in dwelling units, including kitchens. Thirdly, tamper-resistant receptacles, or TRRs, are designed to prevent children from inserting objects into electrical outlets. TRR have internal shutters that block access to the electrical contacts unless both prongs of a plug are inserted simultaneously. NEC 406.12 requires TRR in all dwelling units, including kitchens. Fourthly, ensure that all electrical outlets and wiring in the kitchen are properly grounded. Grounding provides a safe path for electrical current to flow in the event of a fault, reducing the risk of electrical shock. Fifthly, avoid overloading electrical outlets with too many appliances or devices. Overloading can cause the circuit breaker to trip or, in severe cases, lead to electrical fires. Use power strips with surge protection to safely distribute power to multiple devices. Sixthly, regularly inspect electrical cords and plugs for damage. Replace any damaged cords or plugs immediately to prevent electrical hazards. Seventhly, keep electrical outlets and appliances away from water sources to prevent electrical shock. Eighthly, when using electrical appliances, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Ninthly, if you're unsure about any aspect of electrical safety, consult a qualified electrician. Now let's explore the potential consequences of violating electrical codes in the kitchen. Firstly, electrical code violations can create serious safety hazards, increasing the risk of electrical shock, fire, and other injuries. Secondly, violating electrical codes can result in fines, penalties, and legal liabilities. Thirdly, non-compliance with electrical codes can invalidate your homeowner's insurance policy, leaving you financially responsible for any damages caused by electrical hazards. Fourthly, electrical code violations can reduce the value of your home and make it difficult to sell. Fifthly, neglecting electrical codes can create a negative impression on potential buyers, raising concerns about the overall safety and maintenance of the property. It's essential to address electrical code violations promptly to protect your safety, avoid legal and financial consequences, and maintain the value of your home. Now let's discuss the process of filing a complaint with the local electrical inspector or licensing board if the electrician is unwilling or unable to rectify the issue. Firstly, gather all relevant documentation, including the electrician's contact information, the date of the electrical work, a description of the code violation, and any photos or videos that support your claim. Secondly, contact the local electrical inspector or licensing board to obtain a complaint form. Thirdly, complete the complaint form accurately and thoroughly, providing all the necessary information and details. Fourthly, submit the completed complaint form along with all supporting documentation to the local electrical inspector or licensing board. Fifthly, the electrical inspector or licensing board will review your complaint and investigate the matter. Sixthly, they may contact you and the electrician to gather additional information and evidence. Seventhly, the electrical inspector or licensing board will determine whether a code violation has occurred and take appropriate action, such as issuing a warning, imposing a fine, or revoking the electrician's license. Eighthly, if the electrician fails to comply with the electrical inspector or licensing board's orders, you may need to pursue further legal action. Now let's examine the use of cord organizers and cord reels as temporary measures to keep cords tidy and prevent them from crossing the countertop divider. Firstly, cord organizers are devices that help manage and conceal electrical cords, keeping them neatly arranged and out of sight. Secondly, cord reels are devices that allow you to wind and unwind electrical cords, providing easy access to the desired length of cord while keeping the excess cord neatly stored. Thirdly, cord organizers and cord reels can help prevent tripping hazards by keeping cords off the floor and out of walkways. Fourthly, they can also protect cords from damage by preventing them from being pinched, tangled, or frayed. Fifthly, when choosing cord organizers and cord reels, consider the length and gauge of the cords you need to manage, as well as the available space and mounting options. In conclusion, it's crucial to prioritize electrical safety in the kitchen and adhere to all applicable electrical codes. If you have any concerns about electrical outlets, wiring, or appliances, consult a qualified electrician to ensure your safety and prevent potential hazards. Let's talk a bit more about the specific concerns related to fire safety with incorrectly placed outlets. Firstly, overloaded circuits are a major fire hazard. When too many devices are plugged into a single circuit, the wiring can overheat and potentially start a fire. This is even more concerning when the outlets are inconveniently located, as it may encourage the use of extension cords and power strips, further increasing the risk of overloading the circuit. Secondly, loose connections can also lead to fires. When an outlet is not properly installed or if the wiring is damaged, loose connections can occur. These loose connections create resistance, which generates heat and can ignite nearby materials. This is particularly dangerous in a kitchen environment where there may be flammable substances nearby. Thirdly, damaged cords are another common cause of electrical fires. If appliance cords are pinched, frayed, or otherwise damaged, they can short circuit and cause a fire. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, cords may be stretched or strained, increasing the likelihood of damage. Fourthly, appliance malfunctions can also lead to fires. If an appliance malfunctions, it can draw excessive current and overheat, potentially starting a fire. This risk is amplified when the appliance is connected to an improperly installed or overloaded circuit. To minimize the risk of fire, it is essential to ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician and that all outlets and wiring are properly installed and maintained. It is also important to avoid overloading circuits, using damaged cords, and leaving appliances unattended while they are in use. Now let's discuss the accessibility and convenience issues associated with incorrectly placed outlets. Firstly, limited cord length is a significant concern. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, appliance cords may not be long enough to reach the outlets. This can limit the placement and use of appliances, making it difficult to prepare meals and perform other kitchen tasks. Secondly, inconvenient access to power is another major drawback. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, it can be a hassle to plug in and unplug appliances. This is especially inconvenient when you need to use multiple appliances at the same time or when you need to move appliances around frequently. Thirdly, increased reliance on extension cords is another consequence of incorrectly placed outlets. When outlets are not conveniently located, people may resort to using extension cords to reach the desired location. However, extension cords can be a tripping hazard and can also overload the circuit if too many devices are plugged into them. Fourthly, reduced countertop space is another potential issue. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, they may take up valuable countertop space, making it difficult to prepare food and perform other kitchen tasks. Fifthly, visual clutter is also a concern. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, they can create an unsightly appearance, especially if cords are visible. This can detract from the overall aesthetic of the kitchen and make it feel less organized and inviting. To address these accessibility and convenience issues, it is essential to ensure that outlets are properly located and easily accessible. This may involve moving the outlets to the correct side of the countertop divider or adding additional outlets to provide convenient access to power. Now let's explore the aesthetic considerations associated with incorrectly placed outlets. Firstly, visual appeal is a key factor in kitchen design. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, they can detract from the overall aesthetic of the kitchen and create an unsightly appearance. Secondly, cord management is another important consideration. When outlets are not conveniently located, cords may be draped across the countertop or dangle from the outlets, creating a cluttered and disorganized look. Thirdly, appliance placement can also be affected. When outlets are located on the wrong side of the countertop divider, it may be difficult to place appliances in the desired location without creating a visual obstruction or safety hazard. Fourthly, the overall design aesthetic can be compromised. Incorrectly placed outlets can disrupt the flow of the kitchen design and make it feel less cohesive and intentional. Fifthly, resale value can also be impacted. Potential buyers may be turned off by the unsightly appearance of incorrectly placed outlets, which can reduce the value of the home. To improve the aesthetic appeal of the kitchen, it is essential to ensure that outlets are properly located and that cords are managed effectively. This may involve moving the outlets to a more discreet location, using cord organizers to conceal cords, or choosing appliances with shorter cords. Now, let's discuss the potential legal and financial ramifications of electrical code violations. Firstly, fines and penalties can be imposed for violating electrical codes. The amount of the fine will vary depending on the severity of the violation and the local regulations. Secondly, legal liabilities can arise if someone is injured or property is damaged as a result of an electrical code violation. The homeowner may be held liable for the injuries or damages and may be required to pay compensation. Thirdly, insurance coverage can be affected. If an electrical fire or other incident is caused by an electrical code violation, the insurance company may deny coverage or reduce the amount of the payout. Fourthly, the resale value of the home can be reduced. Potential buyers may be hesitant to purchase a home with known electrical code violations, which can lower the value of the property. Fifthly, required repairs and upgrades can be costly. Correcting electrical code violations may require extensive repairs and upgrades, which can be expensive. To avoid these legal and financial ramifications, it is essential to ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician and that all electrical installations comply with the applicable electrical codes. It is also important to obtain the necessary permits and inspections to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Now let's delve into the qualifications and experience of a licensed electrician. Firstly, education and training are essential. A licensed electrician typically completes a 4 or 5 year apprenticeship program, which includes classroom instruction and on-the-job training. Secondly, licensing and certification are required. To become a licensed electrician, individuals must pass a rigorous examination and meet certain experience requirements. Thirdly, knowledge of electrical codes is crucial. A licensed electrician must have a thorough understanding of the National Electrical Code, as well as any local electrical codes. Fourthly, experience and expertise are important. A licensed electrician should have experience working on a variety of electrical projects and should be able to troubleshoot and repair electrical problems effectively. Fifthly, insurance and bonding are necessary. A licensed electrician should have liability insurance and bonding to protect homeowners from any damages or injuries that may occur as a result of their work. When hiring an electrician, it is important to verify their credentials and experience to ensure that they are qualified to perform the work safely and correctly. You can check their license status with the local licensing board and ask for references from previous clients. Now let's discuss the process of obtaining electrical permits and inspections. Firstly, permits are required for most electrical work. Before starting any electrical project, it is important to obtain the necessary permits from the local building department. Secondly, inspections are required to ensure compliance with electrical codes. Once the electrical work is complete, it must be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that it complies with the applicable electrical codes. Thirdly, the permit process typically involves submitting an application, paying a fee, and providing detailed plans of the proposed electrical work. Fourthly, the inspection process typically involves a visual inspection of the electrical work to ensure that it is installed safely and correctly. Fifthly, if the electrical work fails to pass inspection, the homeowner will be required to make the necessary corrections and schedule a re-inspection. Obtaining electrical permits and inspections is essential to ensure that electrical work is performed safely and correctly and that it complies with the applicable electrical codes. It is also important to keep records of all permits and inspections for future reference. Now, let's discuss the importance of using tamper-resistant receptacles, or TRRs, in kitchens. Firstly, TRR are designed to prevent children from inserting objects into electrical outlets. TRR have internal shutters that block access to the electrical contacts unless both prongs of a plug are inserted simultaneously. Secondly, TRR are required by the National Electrical Code in all dwelling units, including kitchens. Thirdly, TRR can help prevent electrical shock and injuries, especially to young children. Fourthly, TRR are easy to install and are relatively inexpensive. Fifthly, TRR are a simple and effective way to improve electrical safety in the kitchen. When replacing electrical outlets in the kitchen, it is important to use TRR to protect children from electrical hazards. TRR are readily available at most hardware stores and home improvement centers. Now let's discuss the importance of using ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in kitchens. Firstly, GFCIs are designed to protect people from electrical shock. GFCIs monitor the flow of electricity and quickly trip the circuit if they detect a ground fault, which can occur when electricity leaks from an appliance or wiring and flows through a person to ground. Secondly, GFCIs are required by the National Electrical Code in all kitchens that serve countertop surfaces. Thirdly, GFCIs are particularly important in kitchens because of the presence of water and electrical appliances. Fourthly, GFCIs can help prevent serious injuries and even death from electrical shock. Fifthly, GFCIs are easy to install and are relatively inexpensive. When replacing electrical outlets in the kitchen, it is important to use GFCIs to protect yourself and your family from electrical hazards. GFCIs are readily available at most hardware stores and home improvement centers. Now, let's discuss the importance of using arc fault circuit interrupters, or FCIs, in kitchens. Firstly, FCIs are designed to protect against electrical fires. FCIs detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause insulation to break down and ignite surrounding materials. Secondly, FCIs are required by the National Electrical Code for all branch circuits that supply outlets or devices installed in dwelling units, including kitchens. Thirdly, FCIs can help prevent electrical fires caused by damaged cords, loose connections, and other electrical problems. Fourthly, FCIs can provide an early warning of potential electrical problems, allowing you to take corrective action before fire starts. Fifthly, FCIs are becoming increasingly common in new homes and are often recommended for older homes as well. When replacing circuit breakers in the electrical panel, it is important to use FCIs to protect your home from electrical fires. FCIs are available at most electrical supply stores and home improvement centers. Now, let's consider the impact of smart home technology on electrical safety. Firstly, smart outlets and smart switches can provide remote control and monitoring of electrical devices. This can be helpful for turning off appliances remotely, setting timers, and monitoring energy consumption. Secondly, smart smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors can provide early warnings of potential hazards. These devices can send alerts to your smartphone or other devices, even when you're not at home. Thirdly, smart home security systems can provide additional protection against electrical fires and other hazards. These systems can automatically shut off power in the event of a fire and can also provide remote monitoring of electrical systems. Fourthly, smart home technology can also help improve energy efficiency. Smart thermostats can automatically adjust the temperature based on occupancy and can also provide energy usage reports. Fifthly, when using smart home technology, it is important to ensure that all devices are properly installed and that they comply with applicable electrical codes. It is also important to choose reputable brands and to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Now, let's discuss the role of regular electrical maintenance in preventing electrical hazards. Firstly, regular inspections can help identify potential problems before they become serious. A qualified electrician can inspect your electrical system and identify any damaged wiring, loose connections, or other hazards. Secondly, replacing worn or damaged components can prevent electrical fires and other incidents. This includes replacing damaged cords, outlets, and switches. Thirdly, testing GFCIs and FCIs can ensure that they are working properly. GFCIs and FCIs should be tested regularly to ensure that they will trip the circuit in the event of a fault. Fourthly, keeping electrical panels clean and organized can prevent overheating and other problems. Cluttered electrical panels can restrict airflow and cause components to overheat. Fifthly, educating family members about electrical safety can help prevent accidents. This includes teaching children not to play with electrical outlets and teaching adults how to use electrical appliances safely. Regular electrical maintenance is essential for protecting your home and family from electrical hazards. It is recommended to have your electrical system inspected by a qualified electrician at least once every 3 years.